Blog Talk Radio.
I had the
Welcome to From Time Without Beginning, where your reality does not create your point of view, but your points of view create your reality. We are all infinite beings who are all omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. We are hyperlocal and hypertemporal. We are everywhere and everywhen all at once. Today is your chance to experience a little of your infinite potential. I'm Tim Janakis, your host, and certified emotion code practitioner and student of the body code, quantum touch 2.0, three-dimensional therapy, access consciousness, and a few other healing modalities. And today I'm very happy because we're going to bring on a guest healer like we do often, and today it's Mark Romero, which the song that you heard at the beginning is one of his songs, and he's an internationally known energy healer and transformational leader. A former top consultant of NASA discovered that Mark is a conduit of energy that enhances people's connection to the creative universal source. So I'm gonna welcome Mark. Let me unmute him. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Great. So I did a little introduction, but maybe you can just tell us a little bit of your story and how you got into this and what is your healing all about?
Absolutely. I think with like many of us, we kind of get thrown on this path completely because, and that was certainly the case for me. I'm actually a recovered corporaholic. I'm a former CEO and executive manager out of the high-tech industry, and I had achieved the at least what I told was the pinnacle of success. The top of the ladder, CEO of a multi-million-dollar business, and I had the bells and whistles, the shiny car, the home in Southern California, and I'm like kind of going, wait a second, I played this game the way, society said to play the game. Why am I unhappy, discontent, unfulfilled, and unhealthy? And I realized, what, man, this is not it for me. I need something that's got purpose. I need something that's got meaning. I got to go discover my life purpose. And so I took the leap of faith. I walked away from what I'd been doing for 19 years to really at that time to go pursue a dream of becoming a motivational speaker, with the idea in mind of providing wisdom and insight and information that could help move people forward in their life experience. So I went into a completely different field and, went to go pursue it. Now, music was not part of the agenda. Music was something I did like in the safety of my bedroom at home. I always used to say, I have the best concerts, man, in the safety of my bedroom at home. I'd imagine myself with long hair, playing electric guitar like, David Gilmour or Jimmy Page or whatever, rock and roll stuff. It was not part of my overall plan to bring that out, and actually had to be forced to make my first CD, and actually in a business networking group that I was involved in. And that CD ended up getting in the hands of a guy from a former top consultant from NASA who was doing research on what are the implications of the over 80,000 man-made chemicals in our air, food, and water, the vast amount of electronic technology that we have surrounded ourselves with that is producing disruptive energy waves. And they were looking at health and wellness and consciousness and physical expression from the perspective of energy and quantum physics. And so in their study, they were able to show how stuff we use every day is compromising our energy, causing stress, putting us into a lower state of well-being, lower levels of consciousness, and really preventing us from reaching our full potential. So they studied the music that they got a hold of, and from there they discovered frequencies in my music that actually have the ability to heal people's lives, to shift energy, to restore harmony and balance to the energetic field. So I go from, this vision of becoming the next, like Tony Robbins type guy. All of a sudden I'm doing like transformational energy work through music, which, like I said, it was a million miles away from, what I originally anticipated in engaging in, and, started me on the path to where I'm at now today with building an understanding of consciousness, energy, how it is that we can literally release and dissipate and change things in our lives and actually mold and meld energy to make matter do what it is we want to do. In other words, create our lives in the way that we truly desire to create. So kind of a long story, but that's how I found out where I'm at, where I'm at on my path today.
Well, that's incredible. So we played at the beginning of the show Midnight Sun, which is one of your songs. I'll play the complete song at the end of the show, but can you tell us a little bit about that song? What's that song about, or what inspired you to make that song?
Well, it's interesting. That was like one of the first songs that I ever wrote. I've been composing music for quite a while now. And, it existed in some raw MIDI and audio thing I had way back when on Vision Opcode, I think was the name of the program I was using way back. And it was kind of a piece, for me it was kind of looking at the tides and ebbs of life, how, we go through the daytimes and the night times of the soul. And that life is constantly in this movement. We have high tide, we have low tide, we have spring, summer, we have winter and fall. And we go through these cycles on our journey. And it was really kind of an instrumental piece to really kind of support that overall theme that life is a process that's ever unfolding and it runs through its cycles. So no matter where you're at in your life experience, if you're down in the dumps, it's not going to last forever. If you're at the high of highs, it's not going to last forever. Everything runs in cycles, and it's really to kind of honor those cycles that take place in our own lives.
Cool. So I had one of my actually healing clients who listened to the last call I had, and I played at the end of the call your whole song of Midnight Sun, and she emailed me and said, "Oh, that's my favorite one on his CD." So she already had your CD, and she said she loves all your music. And she asked me to ask, of all the ones on that CD, she has the exact CD that has the Midnight Sun, of all the ones on that CD, which one have you had the most people say they really liked or were inspired by or healed by?
Well, there's ones that people favorite, from a musical perspective, from an energy and healing's perspective, it's Midnight Sun. And the reason why I kind of picked that is Dr. Jones, who's a gentleman from NASA, that was his favorite song on the CD. So he said, "Man, I love this song." He goes, "I could just listen to it over and over again." So it was the one that, he kind of got jazzed about when he first heard it. And really, it was actually the first piece that he tested when he was doing his testing on the music to see what it was actually doing to the biofield and to a person's energy. So it's kind of the one I like to share. It's the one I think from an energetic perspective has gotten the most attention.
Good. Okay. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 callers holding. Maybe we can. I have already I think 4 people raising their hands. So maybe we can take a caller or two, and maybe they can ask you questions. Or a lot of my calls, I have live healers come on, and they do the healing on the show. So if you feel with one of the callers you want to do a little impromptu guitar playing, go ahead and do that for whatever their issue is or anything like that. So does that sound good? Take a caller?
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, I'm ready to play and engage. So you flip the switch,
Cool.
and we'll see what happens.
Okay,
We'll see
so
what unfolds.
I'm just going to randomly, actually I didn't random, I do everything muscle testing. I'm an energy healer too, and I do muscle testing. So my body says this person, and I'm not going to, I know they've called in before. I've never recognized this number, but my notes are all over the place. So the person in the 845 area code, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Noreen. I spoke with you last week.
Oh yeah, Noreen, great. Okay, so she's in New York.
Yes, New York.
So do you
Awesome.
have a question for Mark?
Well,
or some...
just great, signing in here and listening in, and great story, Mark. And you hear of these stories more and more often. And I also left a job that I was doing for 20 years about 3 years ago in healthcare, and it was making me ill. So sick to stomach, mentally, physically. Just dealing with healthcare and corporate healthcare and the fraud that I left, my way of life. And now I'm really, really struggling to survive financially and, mentally because I left my, my bread and butter kind of thing and looking for another path, and I'm having a hard time finding it.
Well, there's a couple of things that show up here. I can completely relate, first of all, okay? Because I think when, we exist on multiple levels. It's like I think a lot of us go through life where we're in the career phase, okay, where it's about a job and it's about making money. And then there comes a point in time for many of us when it shifts from a career to becoming about a calling, to doing something that resonates with our heart, mind, and soul. And something has to happen when we make that shift. It's almost like we have to be reconfigured. It's like when I left, I kind of had a chip on my shoulder. My wife, Dr. Lara, goes, yeah, you kind of had an ego thing going, because I did. I was like the Midas touch golden boy. And that worked, for years. And I know exactly what you're talking about. Here you're talking to a guy who never had problems making money, always top salesman, the whole shot. I'd get into this. I'd be lucky if I could close my own front door to the house. And, I literally felt like I had become powerless. But what I realized was I literally was going through a purification process. Literally was reconfiguring and eliminating the old paradigms that I had built my life upon and replacing them with new models. Now, unfortunately, for human beings, I'd like to say that, we go through this changes easily and effortlessly, but no, sometimes we have to be put through the fire. And I remember really being down in the dumps one day, and my mom told me something. I was talking to her on the phone, and she said, son, just remember this, great piece for you, that sometimes gold has to go through the fire to burn out the impurities so that it can become the precious metal that it was meant to become, that it wants to become. And I realized that, oh my gosh, yeah, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's challenging. I know what it's like to have the financial issues and the financial challenges and stuff, but yet out of that, I purified myself. It was like I got rid of all the old stuff that I had built myself upon. And it sounds like that's really what's kind of showing up for you. So what I really, and I'll do a little piece here for you in a sec, but what I really would challenge you to do is really get clear and write down a vision of what you want to unfold into. When you left that career, what did you want to create? What did you want to express in your life? What would you love to do? If you had all the power and the ability in the universe, which you do, by the way, what would you like to compose in your life experience? Get clear on what that is. And my biggest piece is this: focus your attention upon that. Take action towards that every day. And Don't allow yourself to create from past circumstances, from current. Yes, hope is what life wants to express through you. And the biggest challenge that I had to learn in walking away from this whole thing is that I can't create based on present circumstances or what happened in the past, which most of us do. And that's how we get caught in these quantum loops, these karmic loops. No, you got to get connected to that vision that caused you to leave in the first place, and that makes your heart and soul sing. And we can stay focused on that through meditation, through prayer, through journaling, through being connected to the present moment. And that'd be really what, I would feel to share with you. So my question for you is, are you willing to spend some journal time to sit down and really start creating a context to unfold your life into?
Yeah, I need to do that. I'm really stuck.
Well, being stuck is a story, because in this universe, no perception. So once again, I'm going to ask you to step into your power. Are you willing to let go of the stories of being stuck and realize it's just a perception?
Right.
The perception doesn't make it reality. Well, actually, our perceptions do make our reality.
Right.
What I'm inviting you to do is to create a new story and say, hey, it might feel like I'm stuck, but you know what?
Right. No,
you can't be stuck in life.
Right, totally relating to what you're saying about the whole, seasons and cyclical things. And that's kind of the way my life has been, with the ebbs and flows and the highs and the lows. And I know I'm at a low point, and it won't be like this forever.
Right.
Yeah,
So I'll tell you what, I'll play you a little healing, little musical mantra piece. And what I would invite you, if you're in a place right now that you're not really enjoying and would like to shift into something else, get connected to that vision, I invite you to take some breaths and to just breathe along. And while I play this little piece, and we'll meet up on the other side. How does that sound?
Great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So just take some nice deep breaths. So just take some nice deep breaths. And for anyone that can relate to this, I just really want to challenge you to come up with a step in the direction of that dream, that vision that you can take in the next 24 hours, and look to see how life responds. Look to see what synchronicities show up and follow them and see where they lead you. Life's all about the journey. It's not about the end destination. It's about what happens between where you're at right now and where you want to go. That's where the spice of life takes place, man. That's where we learn, grow, evolve, and experience. And that's what we all signed up here to come play, the game of life. And take that on and see what opens up for you.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So Noreen, thanks so much for calling in. Thank you. I'm going to put you on mute, and then I'm going to first ask some questions. I had a few people email me before the show, and they were wondering about tuning, because there's a lot of videos on YouTube and other places talking about the 440 hertz tuning of A and other alternate tunings like 432 hertz. Have you done any different types of tuning and experimented on if that gets a different energy from it or anything like that?
No, and here's the reason why. See, I don't really consider myself a sound healer, okay? What I'm doing is I'm doing a form of energy work, okay? For years I thought it was the guitar. Obviously this energy was discovered through my music, but what I learned later is it isn't the music. It's something that flows through me, because I can do this work with my voice. I can do remote energy work and hands-on, and basically what I'm doing is I'm using music as a carrier wave to convey this energy work. So it gives me the ability to positively and powerfully impact people's lives with them playing a music CD. You know, I don't have to work with people one-on-one. I don't have to do a session with them unless, of course, they want to. But, you know, it gives me the ability to send this energy out in a way, you know, through something that I love to do, love music. You know, it's always been a huge part of my life. And you know, people enjoy music. It's something that we all can get into no matter what country you're in, no matter what language you speak. You know, music transcends all that. So it's amazingly powerful. You know, we've heard about the Mozart effect, and I've heard a lot about the tunings aspect and stuff like that. It's just not been an area that I've really gotten into. And part of the energy work that I do is all about shifting disharmonious energy into harmonious energy. And basically, I figure, you know, I've heard things about 440 and the different tunings and what they do. You know, with the energy work that's coming through, I don't, you know, I have no concern whatsoever about any disharmonious tunings in my music, because I know that's a whole element that people are aware of in the tuning aspect. But what I'm really doing isn't really so much dependent upon notes and tones or tunings. It's more so dependent upon intention and what are the motives behind the pieces that I'm playing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So you want to take one more caller?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm going to go someone that's also on Skype. Since you're calling in on Skype, it shows up as the same number. So let's see. Who's on Skype? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, team. This is Abhishek. I'm calling from India.
Good. Okay. So,
Good morning.
Mark, this is
Morning, Mark.
someone who's called in many times. His name is Abhishek, and he's in India. So, Abhishek, what would you like to ask Mark?
Yeah. Thanks, Tim, for giving the opportunity to talk to you and Mark today. It's such a great thing to hear Mark about saying so good words about life and how to take things positively in the right perspective. I just want to ask Mark a few things. First of all, I just want to tell you that I recently discovered that I was a victim of child abuse when I was 3 or 4 years old. And since then, I have not been able to live up to the life that I thought I should have lived, looking at other people around me. And secondly, my choice of career was quite disastrous, and I took up IT software career, and then I switched to finance career, and both have not given me good results, and I have not tasted the success that I thought I should have. So I'm quite lost and at a crossroads here. And I'm beginning to take action into positive things, for example, deciding what I want to do in my life and taking positive actions along with it. But recently what happened was that I had a sort of a fall or a sort of note of negativity, which has caused, I went to the doctor and they did the MRI and they figured out that there are certain dead brain cells in my brain, and I'm having problems in dealing with everyday life. So I just want to request you if you could do some healing and give some guidance.
Okay. So first, Abhishek, let me help you out, because some people might not be able to, your accent's strong and some people can't understand. So I kind of can understand what you just said, so I'll just kind of repeat it for Mark and for anyone else who couldn't understand. So Abhishek says he went through some child abuse between the age of 3 or 4, and it's affected him later on in life. He's figured out lately that he's had a lot of problems with all different careers and different business things, and he's trying to get through all that right now. And he wants to know, he's trying to find his path in life because he's struggled in so many different business things, kind of like what the last caller was talking about. But he feels it's somehow connected to his early child abuse, and he's trying to get through that. So that's what I feel his main issues is right now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we all have had things that have happened in our lives and in our past, you know, things that impact us, things that cause us to create certain thoughts, beliefs, perceptions on a conscious and unconscious level that continue to shape and shift our lives. And any time that we have some sort of disharmony or really disharmony that outpictures in our lives, it's always a reflection of what's going on within ourselves. So when it comes to things like this, you know, it's like, you know, like for example, for myself, you know, my parents got divorced when I was like 12, 13 years old. You know, my dad left home. It was a very traumatic issue for me. And, you know, I had to do a lot of work on it. And even as years went on, I still had to work on different levels. As our awareness expands and as we evolve, I find that in life sometimes we have the opportunity to work on old issues from a different perspective. It's almost like we get to clear them from a different level. So just the question, are you willing to let go of what's no longer serving you? Are you willing to let go and release and get out that old energy that was caused from that event? Because that event and that circumstance does not have power over you. What you have is the ultimate, be able to step into your power and say, hey, you know what, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to release and let go of this so it quits showing up in my life. And whether it's forgiveness work, whether it's, you know, doing, you know, EFT, any type of counseling work, whatever it might be, to help you to continue to remove layers and clear energy out of your body, you know, take that on. So I got a perfect little piece, and it's actually a dissipate musical mantra. It's like dissipate and release. And it's about dissipating and releasing those old traumas, those old experiences. And let's face it, we all have them, you know, that aren't serving you anymore. So I'm going to ask you a question because I'm going to ask you to step into your power here. Are you willing to let that go?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's a part.
Good answer. I like that answer. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you breathe, okay? And anybody else, certainly anybody else that's on this call that has any kind of past whatever, it's an opportunity for you to clear some of this. What I'm going to do is have you breathe, and I want you to think about the frustration, the sadness, feel those feelings, and just breathe them out and let it go. Let that energy go. And then we'll meet up on the other side of this. So this is a little musical mantra for dissipating and releasing. So just take some nice deep breaths and let it go. So just take some nice deep breaths, deep cleansing breaths, and just let anything go that needs to be let go. And I'm going to give you one little piece of homework, a very powerful piece of homework. And that is go do an act of self-love. Whatever it might be, whatever the first thing that might be that shows up in your head. Get out in nature, go for a walk, go meditate, light some candles, go get a massage, whatever it might be, and take on that step and see what begins to show up for you. See what begins to shift.
Okay. Great.
Awesome. Thank you
so
much for
Abhishek,
being
so
on.
much. Take care, Abhishek. Please call in the future. Bye-bye. Okay, that was really beautiful. I always mute everyone when you start playing, so you might hear a mute sound, but it really makes your sound really. I'm surprised your sound is coming through so well because you're calling in on Skype, and the guitar energy must be just breaking through all the normal problems I have with Skype.
Skype does have its issues from time to time, doesn't it?
Yeah, but for some reason, every time you've played, it's come through really well, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing, because usually people call in on Skype, and it just gives me so much trouble, but you're somehow able to break through that with your music.
Yeah, but you
so
know how us musicians are. I mean, we got our toys. I got my Rosetta A to D converter, and I'm, pumping in a high-quality signal in that. And it's about as good a signal as I can send to the computer, so, and then, of course, the Skype gods are in our favor, so we're doing good.
Good. Yeah, so I set the call for an hour, and we're about halfway through right now, so I was thinking we should both take a break. I'm going to play your song again, but I'm going to play the whole thing, Midnight Sun, and so you can get up. If anyone needs to go to the bathroom, I'm going to go get a drink. So it's a 4-minute song, so everyone meet us back in 4 minutes, and we're going to do the second half of the show. So does that sound good, Mark? Take a little break?
Hey, sounds good to me.
Okay, so I'm going to play the whole song. I'm going to mute everybody, and I'm going to go down and get a drink while I'm doing that. So here goes. This is the whole song, Midnight Sun, that we heard at the beginning of the show. Here we go. Okay, that was Midnight Sun. That's with our guest healer that's on today, Mark, and that was beautiful. So, Mark, I was thinking while we were playing that, I was kind of singing in the background. I always do that on instrumental songs. I always want a vocal part to be on there since I'm a singer-songwriter. Have you ever worked with any vocalists?
I always wanted to sing, but I've learned that I'm better off leaving the shower at home.
Yeah.
So, I've done some projects, but they're more like, like soul song projects, more like meditative type things, not really like lyrics and, typical, vocal type music where there's lyrics in a song and verses and choruses and stuff. And so that's been kind of my only experience with that, and then done a few gigs here and there. It's been a while though, So no, pretty much, if I do a company, it's like doing like guided meditations or guided processes in conjunction with the music.
Okay, cool. So let me, some of the people who emailed me before the show, they maybe can't call in or they might be listening, and some people are kind of shy to actually raise their hand, and there's a lot of callers raising their hand, but maybe I can kind of bring up one of their questions. Some people wanted to see if you can have a song for, a lot of us are having we have relationship problems, and maybe when there is a little commotion in the relationship, we can kind of like stick it on in the background and try to bring down the energy of everybody who might want to fight. Do you have any songs for something like that?
It's funny. Relationships are a common, thing that shows up. Because if I really look at the scope of what my work with music and with energy has evolved into, it's really about moving the blocks and barriers that are preventing people from fulfilling their purpose, opening to more prosperity, improving their health and wellness, and then, of course, creating loving, healthy relationships. And, one of the pieces that I learned a while ago is that, it's like when we're in relationship stuff, when stuff shows up in relationship, and obviously our significant other, it could be a wife, husband, girlfriend, whatever, boyfriend, I always ask people to like, well, what's that trying to tell you about yourself? And one of the processes my wife, Dr. Lara, always did was, she would ask the question, well, what irritates you about this person? And they say, oh, well, this guy, doesn't listen, whatever. And, they would voice their things. And then she would say back to them, well, where are you like that in the relationship with yourself? So if we think about the nature of the universe, and this is a part that, some of us don't like to look at, but yet more and more of us are waking up to it, is that the outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. It's like we came here to play this most miraculous game where what you believe, what you perceive, what you hold as true in your life outwardly expresses through every aspect of your life, either in your physical health, in your relationships, in the amount of prosperity you're able to bring in or not bring in your health, whatever it might be, and it's always there to reflect back at us. Now, of course, sometimes it's easier to blame the other person or a mom growing up or circumstances that happen, but we can't really do that because the person in the mirror is the one that's dictating what harmony is that's showing up in your relationship. And ask the question, what's this trying to teach me about me? Because I can guarantee you this, it ain't about the other person. As much as we'd like it to be, it really isn't. It's really pointing out something within yourself that needs to change. I've seen people transform their relationships by transforming the relationship with the person in the mirror. I had one of my very first clients who came to me because she couldn't create a healthy relationship. She kept attracting a man in a different body but the same jerk, I think is how she put it. Ended up she had a lot of unresolved issues with her dad. And so I played her a piece of music on forgiveness, and like 2 days later her dad calls her up and says, hey, you know what? We need to sit down and talk about reconciliation and forgiveness. She was blown away. She's like going, man, my dad would never do that. He's like macho man guy. He would never do anything like that. I said, that's because we all need to realize everything external to ourselves is a reflection of who and what we are. The only way we can change our external world is to change the person we see in the mirror and change what's within us and dissipate and release what's no longer serving us and step into clear on what it is that we want to create, manifest, and experience. So here's a little piece. Maybe you have some disharmony showing up in the relationship. And this is really about alignment. And it's about aligning yourself with your significant other, your partner, whatever it might be, but to kind of create that harmony. So what I invite you to do is set that intention for yourself. What is this to teach me about me? What can I learn from this experience? And yes, I'm willing to set the intention to restore harmony in the relationship with myself and the relationship with others. So just take some nice deep breaths, and we'll meet up on the other side of this. Little alignment's always given in a relationship.
That was beautiful. So we've been on almost an hour. So before I think we'll go to maybe one last caller. I know there's a lot of people on. We can't take them all. But before we do that, I forgot to give out your website. Can you give that out for everybody?
Sure, yeah. If you'd like to come and learn more about energy and music and how you can restore harmony and balance in your life, come visit me at Mark. It's Mark with a K, Romero music.com, markromero.music.com. Once again, it's Mark with a K, Romero music.com. You can learn more about energy, quantum physics, how it is completely possible to restore harmony and balance within every aspect of your life. So that we can go play more beautiful music throughout our life experience, which is what we all truly desire to do. So pay me a visit, send questions, whatever. We're always good. It's always good to connect with people. And, certainly can connect on the Facebook page also, which is facebook.com, Mark Romero Music. And you can find my page and send a post.
Great. So luckily we have all these calls that you can go back and listen to them in the archives. So, but I'm sure if you get Mark's CD, it's a lot more clear, and you can listen to it with stereo headphones, and you can get a lot more healing from it. But luckily we have a few of his songs he played on the show, which you can always go back and listen to over and over again on the replay. So that's a gift he gave to all of us, and I hope you guys support his music and buy his CDs. Let's try. You have enough time? One more caller?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Okay, we'll just do the last caller, and I wish I can take everyone's caller, but we have too many callers, so I'm just going to go. I Did I?
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, we have, okay, this one I think I didn't take yet. 630 area code, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Mia.
Mia, great. Mia's called many times. So Mia, what's something you would like Mark to work with you on?
On my soul's passion. I'm confused on what to do, where to go, and how to achieve it.
So when you say soul passion, what is that? How would you define that?
My soul's path. I'm also suffering from anxiety. Right now, I'm having mild anxiety. It comes and goes, but I am trying to find like something that that's for my heart, and rather than following what my mind has been taking me.
Well, that's good. That's a good place to come from.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so I just packed up my clothes and then just drove. I left Chicago. Now I'm in Florida, and I still haven't found what I'm looking for. It's like that piece that I've been looking and I haven't found it. So I'm a little confused.
Well, I think part of the thing is now you sound young. Okay, so I'm just going to make an assumption there. So remember, life's a journey, and part of the
I'm 40, so I'm not that young. I've been through a marriage. I've been through the schooling. I've been through a career, and then right now I'm in that stage where I want to do something else.
Like what? Something else like what? You got to be like, well, if anything was possible, money wasn't an issue, what would you do? What would you want to do? What makes your heart and soul sing?
This is the reason why I came to sunny Florida, is because I like the sun, the breeze, the water, and the nature here.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel really connected. As soon as I got here, there's still something else. Like I'm halfway there. That fun, that passion.
Yeah.
That
so
journey.
What would open up for you? What would open up for you if you were to have passion in the unfolding of your journey? Because it doesn't matter whether you're 40, 50, 25. Life is a journey and it's an unfolding. You know, the important thing is to get in touch with that heart and do things that make it sing. You know, you've said a couple things about sun and the breeze and all that, and that's great. But there's got to be something there that, you know, you just love to do. You like to help people. You like to draw. You like to paint. You like to build websites, whatever it might be. I don't know. You know, this is something you have to do some introspection on. And what I would really invite you to do is inquire, man. Do some right time. Grab a journal. One of my little processes I like to do is I ask a question. I'm right-handed, so I write the question right-handed, and then I answer the question with my left hand. And I'm amazed what shows up. It's what I get answers. You know, the key is all the answers are within us. Nobody's got the answer outside of yourself. I don't have the answer for you. You know inside within you. You just have to ask the question and inquire and trust the answer you get. You know, and if it feels good, go do it.
I have half book full of the journals that I've been asking myself, and they're all different. They're all just taking me to like do drawing, do singing, do painting, and just do dancing. They're all like so expansive.
So extensive or expansive?
Yeah, expansive.
Oh.
It's like I can't even narrow it down to what is it, because
Okay,
I
so
like
then why?
all.
So here's my question for you: is then why is that wrong? Why are you making yourself wrong?
It's not. It's not wrong. It's just I can't find that place to settle.
Well, and see what I'm inviting and opening you up to is find a place to settle on the journey, on the road. You know, trying out new things. Remember, a lot of life is about trying things and gathering data and information and say, you know, yeah, I like this. This is cool. Maybe I'll try this on over here. You know how women like to go shopping and like to try on different clothes? Yeah, this looks good on me. Nah, this doesn't look good. And that's the process of life. And what would open up for you if you were to be okay with not knowing exactly what it is that you want to do? What if it was to be okay with being on the journey and unfolding and trying different things? You know, see, part of the thing that shows up for so many of us is that we create resistance because we expect life to be a different way than the way that it is. You know, and so we fight it. You can't fight life in the way that it is in the present moment. The thing is to come to peace with it and say, hey, you know what? This is where I am at. I'm not sure what it is that I want to do at age 40. And you know what? That's okay. But I'm going to go and I'm going to dance. I'm going to go sing. I'm going to go paint. I'm going to go try different things. And hey, you know what? I'm open and willing to set the intention to find out what makes my heart and soul sing. And I'm going to go on a journey and discover it. And maybe rather than fighting the journey or cursing the journey, to take on the spirit of the adventurer who's going out looking for the treasure and going on the experience. Remember, it's not the end result. Life is not about the end result. Life is about the journey. And that's where you grow. That's where you evolve. But most importantly, and pertaining to this discussion, that's when you discover what rocks and rolls your soul. So you're saying, yeah, I'm, 40. I'm not. You know what? At 40, I wasn't there, not even close. I'm 52 now. I know what I do. I know what I am, and yes, it's been a process. But man, I didn't get there overnight. I didn't just like sashay on and say, oh yeah, man, I know what I'm here for. What I'm going to do. No, man, it's a journey. And if you approach it with the spirit of the adventure and take off that frustration, you'd be amazed at what can show up for you. Don't resist where you're at. Honor it. Don't fight it. Don't curse it. Use colorful metaphors to describe it. Say, hey, you know what? This is where I'm at. Yeah, would I like to be somewhere else? Yeah, but this is where I am, and that's okay. I'm going to continue to search. I'm going to continue to go on my journey to discover what makes me sing, what makes my heart and soul happy. And you will discover it in its own time and space. See, and that's the other place where we get stuck. Life will never unfold to your time schedule. It will unfold completely contrary to your biggest and best agendas. The more that you can come to peace with that, the more easier you're going to flow through life. So for you, I would say set the intention to discover that purpose, to discover that calling. And then spend some quiet time asking the question. And then go try some different things. See what the answers are. Go try them. Try them on for size. See what happens. I got into coaching a number of years ago, and I'm saying, that's not really my thing. I'd like to work with groups, and that's all part of the discovery process.
Well, financially, as far as employment goes, I can get myself into my old career without a problem, but that's the reason why I left, is because it's not my passion. It's not what makes me happy. And then I'm trying to find this new career in the spiritual world, and I am a little confused as far as what is it.
Well, and be okay with that.
Yes, this is where I'm at right now.
And what I'm asking for you is, are you willing to be okay with where you're at right now? See, remember, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier is that life is seasons. Life is high tide and low tide, summer, fall, spring, winter. It's tides and ebbs. And we all have these tides and ebbs in our life experience. And, quit cursing high tide because you want low tide, it's not going to do anything. There's that common saying, what you resist persists in life. And so you're in a discovery process still, and lose the whole conversation. Oh, I'm 40. I should be further along. I had that conversation for years, and let me save you some anguish, man. Drop that one now, because in reality, you're timeless and infinite. Time and age is all perception of the mind and of the physical world. That's not the truth of who and what you are. You came here to dance, to learn from experience, to unfold. And you are where you're at. Honor it. Set the intention to move forward and discover new pathways for yourself, and go put a smile on your face and move forward with it and see what opens up for you.
Mm-hmm. And then the anxiety that comes and go, I just can't get rid of it. I don't know.
See, that's a story. You created a story. I can't get rid of my anxiety. So guess what?
Okay.
You can't get rid of it. See, what I'm going to say is you can get rid of your anxiety. Let it go. Process through. Look to see for different types of energy work and modalities that can support you. Get out in nature, whatever it might take. Inquire. You are not powerless to anxiety. Anxiety is something that's stemming from within yourself, but you're not powerless to it. You can shift through that. And see, I think, you just need to take a couple deep breaths and realize that you're an infinite, beautiful expression of life. That's the truth of who and what you are. You're not the powerless person who at age 40 doesn't know their life purpose and has no power over anxiety. See, that's a story, and that story is not serving you. Change the story. You're the author. You're the composer. Change it. You're not powerless. Say, hey, you know what? I am powerful. Maybe that Mark, that crazy guy on the radio the other night, maybe he wasn't so full of it after all. You know what? You really are. And when you start coming from that perspective, then to shift and change and see what begins to shift and change for yourself. And I would venture to say that you might even get some clarity on the next step of how you want to express yourself and what you want to unfold into. And just see what happens for you, okay?
All right. Wow. Thank you so much, Mark.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mia. And I hope you call back again.
Thank you, Mia.
I look forward to talking to you, Mia. Take care. You're an infinite person. You're going to get through it all. So take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so we went an hour,
Bye-bye.
and thank you, Mark, so much for all your time and all. It seems like every question they asked was something that helped me, and I'm sure that was for other people on the callers too, on the calls. Sorry, I can't even talk. All the other people who called in probably, who I didn't answer their call, they probably were able to get some healing from all of your songs and from all the things that the people discussed, so that was so great. Before I go, do you have any last-minute things you want to say to everyone?
Everybody comes here. I know you're going to like this, Tim. We all come here with a song that's within us. Our job is to share that song, that music, whatever it might be. And if we're not sure what our song and our music is, then we go on a path to discover. It's like, I'm sure in your musical career, how many different styles, different types of music have you played? I started off with rock, and now, I play nylon string with a lot of, flamenco influence and classical and stuff, completely different than the music that I was playing, 20 years ago. And, we all have that song within us. It's our job to get in touch with it and to sing it and to express it into our lives. It's that expression of that that's going to transform our lives. It's going to transform the world around us. Each and every one of us plays an important piece in this story of global transformation. And that piece that we're playing is that reflection, that inner reflection, that truth of who and what we are. And, to realize that we truly are magnificent expressions of universal energy, and to honor that and to move forward with it and to utilize that power and that ability to compose the life of our dreams.
Cool. That is perfect. So it's actually a great segue, because I wanted to play one of my songs as we end, which is one of the reasons why I put your song in the middle. I wanted to give you a gift of my music at the end of the call. And actually, this song on my CD, my 10-song CD that I released, I released it on 2012, December 21st. It's called The Beginning Is Here. And I picked that date, actually, to release it. It all came together by that date. It was kind of amazing. And this song was actually one of the songs of all the 10 songs on my CD that I had to have a different guitar player come and record. All my other songs I have the same bass player, same guitar player, which is a little bit more rock and roll, more aggressive. But he had an eye operation, and he said, I don't know how long it's going to be before I can play again, but I'm going to take a few months off. And I'm like, no, my CD's almost finished. You can't do that. I need you to play. I said, can't you just play with blindfold or whatever? He's like, no, I can't play. So I had to get a hold of this guy, and I got a guy in Italy. His name is Gabor Lesko, and he's actually more of a jazz player, but I've heard many of his stuff, and he's done some rock, so I thought, okay, I'll give him a try. And maybe in the future, if this happens again, I'll ask you to come in and play on one of my songs. But this song, Come Alive, is much different than most of my other songs on my CD, but I had the guy recorded in another country and send me the files, and we mixed it in, so it worked out just perfect. So I think this is more your style of music. So I'm going to end the call. Thank you so much. And once again, Mark Romero's website is markromeromusic. What was it? .net or .com?
.com.
.com. Okay. So markromeromusic.com, and I'm going to end this call with one of my songs called Come Alive, which I had a guest guitar player, which I kind of feel like it's kind of Mark's style. So maybe in the future, maybe Mark will play on one of my CDs. I hope. So thank you, Mark, and I'm going to end with Come Alive, and I look forward to talking to you in the future. Take
cool.
care.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye-bye. Today I feel my roots are anchored deeply down into the earth. But my friend, she's tumbled and she's shaking. I sense she needs a new rebirth. If only I could make her feel all her dreams could be for real. If only I could make her see the bluest skies ahead of me. It's all inside a treasure tower, so sublime, it's all within, a priceless jewel beneath our skin, and every heartache, every pain makes you stronger, makes you wiser, it makes you come alive, it makes you come alive, so won't you come alive, my friend. There's no use running anywhere. There's no use searching far and wide. You only need to look within. I see it as I gaze into her eyes. If only I could make her see the bluest skies ahead of me. If only I could make her feel all her dreams could be for real. It's all inside a treasure tower, so sublime, it's all within, a priceless jewel beneath our skin, and every heartache, every pain makes you stronger, makes you wiser, it makes you come alive, it makes you come forget the past. She had a love, but nothing lasts. I've been there too, I know her pain, but all alone, I feel the strength within. It's all inside, a treasure tower, so sublime, it's all within. A priceless jewel beneath our skin, and every heartache